Hello, everyone. Rachel Shumway here. Today, we're going to be talking about how I passed the business analysis exam on the first try with ADHD. We're going to be going through some BA-specific challenges, the difference in study materials available for BA versus admin, the importance of a study backbone, how to get hands-on experience, and how to know when you're ready to take the exam. So I will do a quick refresh on the ADHD specific study tips, which I cover more in depth in my video about how I passed the admin exam with ADHD, but I'll tailor them in the context of the BA exam. So I hope that by the end of this video, you will have some ADHD friendly study tips, as well as a resource to ground you when distractions come up. And of course, please subscribe to this video so you don't miss any trainings and connect with me on LinkedIn. Let me know what questions you have and what other videos you would love to have that will help you in your Salesforce career. So first off, let's discuss some BA specific exam challenges. You might recognize some of these tools from my other video, but listen closely because like I said, this is for BA specific. All right. First thing to keep in mind is that you got to manage your mind. Make sure that whatever you're deciding to study for that session is connected in some way to the exam guide. My team and I in the beginning found it really confusing to orient ourselves, even though we had our Trello board with the exam outline guidelines kind of put into place. And you're probably going to face a similar challenge. For example, if you're learning about UPN or Universal Process Notation, make sure that you reassure yourself ahead of time, like, hey, I'm going to need to know UPN for the test. This is important, so that as you're going in, you're not like, should I be studying something else? It's like, yep, no, it does connect back to the exam. For the first 2 weeks or so, as you're getting used to everything, just ask yourself this filtering question. Does what I'm studying right now connect to something on the exam guide? If the answer is yes, it's worth getting a handle on. And if it's not, save it for later. All right, second thing is to engage the power of hyperfocus. This one I found to be easier on the BA exam versus admin because building process maps is like deeply enthralling for me. Once you get the basic principles and feel of process mapping down, it's pretty easy, pretty intuitive. You can just dive in and get really creative. There were times in my study that I was practicing different maps that I worked on for like 3 hours at a time and felt like no time had gone by. So hyper focus is very similar to flow state because it occurs when our brain is comfortably challenged, engaged in a task for the sake of it, instead of just, I'm going to knock this out to finish the module. Not that that's bad. It just isn't how you access flow state. And then the brain can go on semi-autopilot, which does require a little bit of foundational knowledge, right? So accessing flow state while you're studying is the advanced version of hyperfocus, but you can also bring hyperfocus to center stage by day one, which I always do, by using the Pomodoro timer. I personally find that 30 minutes work, 10 minutes off works well for me. Some people like 25, 5, 25, whatever. Play around with what works for you. But essentially with Pomodoro, you signal to the brain, hey, we only have to focus for this short sprint. Here's the task. I'm going to finish it in this video, right? Get that definition of done really, really clear so that you decide, hey, this is what I'm studying on. Brain, be present, and then we're going to take a break. Okay, so let's talk about the differences in resources now available for admin versus BA. So in the admin exam, I would study each exam objective in this order. First, watch Dave Mass's video, do the matching trailhead. Dave did an amazing job at lining up each of his videos with the relevant trailhead module. So it was really a seamless transfer. And then I would do the builds, be in my playground, break stuff, fix it. And when I got stuck, go back to the videos and Salesforce documentation. Then with a focus on force, I would go in with the expectation that I was going to get the questions wrong. I would go through each and every question, understand, why did I get this wrong? Where is the disconnect? Did I confuse permission sets and sharing settings? I would go through until I knew exactly where I got the question wrong and could demonstrate it in my playground, one question at a time, one objective at a time. It was a little bit tedious, but I got like an 80% on my admin exam. So obviously it paid off. And in my test, the focus on force test, I was averaging about 90. Not because of memorization, again, but because of integration of the concepts. So what transfers over to BA and what doesn't? Dave Massey doesn't have a BA course. though I know he's working on one. So if you want to, you can just go poke him and say, hey, Rachel says you're working on a BA course. We're so excited. Yeah. We actually used Mike Wheeler's course in the beginning, but unfortunately we found that it didn't really transfer. It wasn't as organized with the BA exam, so it didn't provide that backbone. Fortunately, my colleague Beth Lyons made one. I'll walk you through it in more depth in another video, but the link is down below for you to access. With this pacing guide is it organizes the trailheads, the trailhead live videos, the Elements Academy course, which is a course that Ian Gotts, one of the writers of the BA exam, created to help with process mapping. You can actually link it up to your org, again, to like take it from the theoretical or the theoretical to the practical. So yep, we've got trailheads, trailhead live videos, Elements Academy courses, and the Mike Wheeler course based on the exam objective. Okay, so this pacing guide gives you a lot of check boxes. Yay, dopamine, right? We love that. And honestly, once we put this into place, everything got a lot easier. So if you like check boxes, make sure you grab the spreadsheet, make a copy, and connect with Beth on LinkedIn. She thinks like a solution architect just by her natural brain, and she is one of the smartest and kindest people I know. So anyways, we would go by the exam guide. For example, customer discovery is 17% of the exam. One of the things on the exam guide is to understand change practices and backlog of changes. Okay, so this is part of customer discovery. What trailheads tackle change practices and backlog of changes? We would knock out those trailhead modules and then go back to the pacing guide, say that we check it. Yep, I understand it. As I went through Trailhead using the Natural Reader Chrome extension to read the text out loud for those who can't read blocks of text for hours on end. And if you can, please let me know. Teach me your ways. Anyways, I'm not a visual person right over here. I would always take notes on a Google Doc of important definitions, concepts, and frameworks and theories. After each module, I would upload these notes into Anki flashcards. I like Anki over Quizlet because it lets you attach images for free, and I find it more effective for engaging short-term memory. So that exam guide, the pacing guide, served as the backbone and finally was the focus on forced tests. So in the admin exam, I found it personally most useful to take the quizzes after I'd watched the videos and done the trailheads, and then digging deep into why I got the questions wrong. Because if I took them at first, I was like, I don't know what any of these words mean. This isn't useful. However, in the BA exam, because I had ample experience in conducting discovery sessions, stakeholder analysis, and the project lifecycle from previous jobs and experience, I had a decent grip on these things. So I just needed to know what is Salesforce wanting me to know for the exam. So I took a focus on force basically right off the bat, which helped me know what flashcards I needed to make and what I could pass over because I already knew it. All right. And lastly is getting hands-on experience. I'll be brief in this one as I'm fully convinced that there really are two ways that you need to do this. It's not all inclusive, but do these two things and you'll get it. First is to do a clicked experience. Clicked, like sign up for a team sprint where basically Clicked puts you into teams, it gives you a scenario and says, go create this deliverable for this business. Using concepts from actual business use cases, you and your team get to act as BA consultants to solve for this scenario. And then what's more, you get to present your findings to some of the best Salesforce professionals in the industry. Vanessa Grant, solution architect, Tony, Nguyen, and Mallory Donahue, which are both slalom consultants. Iselle from Blue Sky, another solution architect, right? Some amazing coaches that can give you feedback on what you created. Second thing to do is to find a business owner friend or a nonprofit. If you know someone who has a new business or a nonprofit, you can ask them. Or if you have like someone that you know that runs a household, run it on them as if it was a business. Conduct a discovery session. Practice asking targeted questions. Make a journey map, right? Gap analysis, processes map. And this BA set of skill is really about like feeling out your unique style of translating human to tech and tech to human. And lastly, how do you know when you're ready to take the exam? Okay, have you created a process map, gone through Elements Academy, and done something hands-on? Yes? Great. Going to number 2. How are your focus on 4 scores? You need 72% at the time of this recording to pass the BA exam. I aimed for 85 on the focus on force because I really wanted to make sure that I was learning and not just passing the test. That being said, I know a lot of people who shot for 80% and passed. So You know yourself best. Okay, third thing, how well do you know the difference between all of the different kinds of process maps, roadmaps, user stories versus personas, and UPN? You got to know these things. These are the bang for your buck concepts. All right, quick summary is on what we talked about. If you have not already, again, subscribe, connect with me on LinkedIn to know what other things you would like at / have questions on. So we walked through some BA specific challenges in existing resources. We talked about how some ways of studying for the admin exam transfer over and some don't. I shared a link that my study buddy, friend, and colleague Beth Lyons created as a backbone. The link is in the video notes. And finally, how to know when you are ready to take the BA exam. All right, friends, hope this was useful. Have a happy Monday, and we'll talk to you later.